Peter was woken up by a strange sound. The sound seemed to be coming from inside the wall. He slowly pressed his ear against the wall. He tried tapping it twice. Peter was too scared to sleep. He woke his sleeping mother. He told her there was a strange sound inside the wall, but when his mother knocked on the same spot, she didn't hear any response. She reassured Peter that it was just because the house was old, but Peter was too afraid to close his eyes. He stared intently at the eerie wall. Until midnight, the thing in the wall actually spoke. Peter was terrified. He jumped out of bed and desperately called for his father. When his father arrived, he pressed his ear against the wall. Then he told Peter it was probably just mice. But Peter clearly heard a voice speaking. The next day, Peter drew a pitch-black wall with the word help written on it. Wendy was worried something was wrong with Peter, so she came to Peter's house for a home visit. Wendy handed the drawing to his mother. When his mother saw the drawing, her expression immediately turned serious. She said it was just Peter's overactive imagination. With a few simple words, she sent Wendy away. Then his mother immediately found Peter. She demanded to know why he was seeking help from strangers, but Peter firmly denied it. He told his mother it was just a scary drawing. That night, the strange sound came back again, but Peter was no longer afraid. He told the voice it was just something he'd imagined, but it said Peter needed a friend. This hit Peter's weak spot. He began apologizing to the voice and begged it to stay. From that day on, Peter's personality became much brighter. Wendy noticed the change in him. Seeing Peter's Halloween pumpkin drawing, she praised the boy enthusiastically. But Brian, who often bullied him, saw this. After school, a happy Peter was walking down the street. Suddenly, Brian knocked him down from behind. When Peter looked up, Brian had already stomped on the pumpkin and crushed it. A heartbroken Peter returned home. He told his friend in the wall everything. His friend encouraged him to be brave. That was the only way to avoid being bullied. With his friend's encouragement, Peter began plotting revenge against Brian. He followed Brian into a stairwell. Then he pushed Brian down directly. When Peter finally calmed down, he realized he'd made a terrible mistake. Worse yet, Peter was expelled from school. His father was furious. He locked Peter in the basement. Below the basement, Peter discovered a hidden space. He saw a bleeding black doll. A few days later, his mother let Peter out, but his parents had become very strange. They demanded that Peter only study at home from now on. They even told him not to have nightmares. Peter started to suspect his parents. Late at night, he shared his doubts with his friend in the wall. His friend warned him to be very careful of his parents. Peter wanted to talk face to face. His friend said there was a hole behind the wallpaper. Peter found the hole. When he looked inside, Peter was terrified. He ran back to his bed in a panic. Then he heard urgent knocking on the door. Peter nervously watched the door. He tentatively called out his mother's name, but the next second, the door opened.